Hey everybody, this is the first time I'm going to be doing this podcast in a video format as well as the audio-only version on SoundCloud. My other podcast that I do on Wednesdays with my buddy Mikey called Frat Chat, the links are all going to be in the description of this video, will be moving to a video version as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this, if this is your preference and how you like to look at podcasts. Let's get started.
The Shock Therapy Podcast.
It's that boom, boom, boom.
At that point, electric current is passed between the electrodes in the head.
That shit just kicked in. I just feel like I smoked 1,000 blunts.
For discovery brings with it the penalties of society. Shame, arrest, prison.
Oh, sorry, I was taking life seriously.
I'm over the end dangerous territory. This is dangerous territory right here. I'm in.
I don't know what psychotic means, really.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into the Shock Therapy Podcast for Tuesday, August 4th. I'm your host, Carson McGregor, coming at you from my makeshift podcast studio in the crib. Just some hung up sheets, a GoPro camera. I actually have a, if you're watching the video version, you're seeing me on this GoPro, and I'm a little bit illuminated because I have these old lights that I used to make short films with. I have this kind of whole lighting system that my parents got me for my birthday when I was like 14 or something like that. And I've kept it around, and all the shit still works. So that's where we're at. Digging out the past, trying to make it all work again. Oh man. How you guys doing this week? You doing good? I'm doing great. I just got my court shit finished. I'm done with that. Completely out of my hair now, which is good. Glad that's all over. I'm not gonna get too into why I was in court, but what I will talk about is the lie that everybody's starting to believe about this weed thing. When Northam came out and said that it's no longer like illegal, it's decriminalized. Now it's just a civil penalty. You got to pay $25 for under an ounce, $50 for over an ounce, and everybody was so excited, like, oh man, it's only $25. Like, that's fucking awesome. Like, I'm just gonna roll around with weed all the time now, and I don't even give a fuck about it because I have $25. Who cares? Well, it's good that it was decriminalized. I mean, it's good for human rights. Like, we should have the right to consume marijuana if we'd like to. But the lie in the whole thing is they could just send you a thing in the mail, like a ticket in the mail, like they would with a speeding infraction. I mean, speeding, you got to go to court, but you could, certain things you don't have to go to court. You could just fucking get a letter in the mail and it's fine. Like, if you went through an Easy Pass without an Easy Pass, they wouldn't make you go to court for that. They just send you a thing in the mail and say, pay this shit, and you pay it. They could have done that with weed, but rather than that, they actually have you go to court. You have to take your time and go to court. And that also means you have to pay court costs. So it's not just $25. That's a lie. That's a fucking lie. It's $125. So everybody that thinks you're getting off easy, like, do you have an extra $125 lying around? Some of you might, but some of you might not. So just keep that in mind when you're rolling around with weed all willy-nilly, not giving a fuck anymore. The amount of people that are just like smoking in their cars that didn't before. When I was a pot smoker, I would smoke in my car all the time because I had a lucky streak of never getting pulled over. I had a really long lucky streak of never getting pulled over. I was always a pretty safe driver, so I would just smoke and drive. Like, I would have like the GB, if you know what a GB is, if you don't, Google it, but I would have that set up in my cup holder, and I would just be pulling them literally while I was driving, like one hand pulling the Jeep as I was driving. I'd unscrew it, and then I'd fucking hit it, and then or I would stop and then do it. I was just reckless until I got arrested and, I kind of got my shit back together. But I was reckless with this shit. And there's a lot of people I knew that I told that in my weed smoking days that they were like, you're crazy, man. Like, you're going to get caught. You're going to go to jail. Well, you're not going to go, I mean, you're going to get in trouble. You know, you're going to get pulled over and you're going to get in some trouble. And I was always like, nah, man, I'm not going to get in trouble. Fuck that. And then looking at it in hindsight, I'm like, dude, you're a moron. Like, why were you doing this ridiculous shit? This unbelievably risky behavior. And now all those same people that were calling me a moron are going around smoking blunts in their cars. Acting like you still can't get like a DWI because of this shit. You can. If they know you're smoking while you're driving, that's a DWI. It's hard to prove, though, in court. You know, there's certain things that it's hard to prove in court. But if they can get you to say it on the spot, that's how they get you. You know, be like, dude, I'm not going to fuck with you. Like, the cop could be like, dude, like, I'm just level with me. You were just smoking a blunt and driving. You'd be like, yeah. And then they're like, gotcha, sucker. DWI. That's how they fuck you. They act like they're your friend. They act like they're your friend just to get in your head. Fucking assholes. Assholes. Not all of them. Not all of them, obviously. Some of them are cool. And even that's not a bad thing, a bad tactic, because good cop routine is good to catch people that are doing really like serious crimes that you have to, you got to get on their level a little bit so that they open up to you so that you can get something out of them. But like, just badgering some pot smoking kids in their car, like, fuck you, get the fuck out of here. Is this what you wanted to do? This is what you want to do to protect and serve, you fucking douche? That's stupid. Like, I remember me and my buddies, whenever we talked about cops, we'd say, man, if I was a cop and I caught some kids smoking, I just wouldn't do anything. I just, be like, yeah, go back and do your thing, man. I'm not going to fuck with you. And in the age of body cams, I just don't think you can do that. You can just see people doing drugs and be like, have a good day. Not even like get rid of the drugs, like confiscate them or nothing. I don't know. I think you could back in the day before body cams, but you could also just like assault people, and then it's your word versus theirs, and your word holds more weight for some reason because you're a cop, and just because you have a badge, that means like you're automatically a truth teller. It's fucking silly. It's silly. Whole thing is silly. Whole system is pretty silly. I don't know. I'm a bit on edge right now. I'm always a bit on edge when I record these for whatever reason. I'm just like always weird, in a weird mood. Especially in a weird mood right now. It's been too long. This COVID thing, it's been going on too long. So much disagreement about it. Before this all started, I thought it was going to bring everybody together. Everybody was going to be on the same team all of a sudden, like how 9/11 brought the whole country together, Democrats, Republicans, we were all on the same side. I don't say we because I wasn't really around for September 11th in that way, in a way where I can remember those types of things. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it brought the country together in a real way. And I thought COVID was going to do the same thing. It was going to bring everybody together. We were going to be going through a terrible pandemic crisis as a team. A unified fucking front. And then my man Vince Lombardi in the Oval Office decided to turn this whole thing into a political thing. And then, like, the Belichicks of the Democratic Party, they were cool with it. They were cool with turning it into a political issue so they can get Vince out of there. Everybody's just mad, man. Everybody's mad at everybody. I thought it was going to bring everybody together, and it's torn everybody apart. It's fucked up. I don't know. Just a little bit pissed off about that. I'm pissed off that they're lying to us about weed. That's really what I'm pissed off about. That I went to court and I found out that, like, oh man, these people still have to go to court and pay court costs. Like, that's $125 for being caught with a fucking dime bag. That's ridiculous still. That's not even, that's better, but it's not better enough to, make some crazy celebration over. I guess, it doesn't get young black men in the system the way it was doing. That's what those laws were doing. They were targeting specifically minority communities, and they were, getting them on all these little petty bullshit charges so that they could keep them in the system and then overcharge them to the maximum extent of the law in almost all these cases, so that you have all these black men in prison who get more involved in the system because they end up in jail, and jail doesn't do anything to help you because it's not a rehabilitation process. It's just hang out with all these other criminals and see if that makes you better, makes you not want to do this shit anymore, see if that makes you less resentful towards the government and towards the community. Of course it's not gonna. So on that angle, the decriminalization of marijuana has been a very, very, very good thing. But they're still kind of lying to you. Uncle Sam is a motherfucker sometimes. The way he gets to you like that. He still needs to get his money. Uncle Sam is like that shitty uncle, man. He's like that shitty uncle that you don't like talking to, you don't like hanging around, but he's your mother's brother, so he's got to be in the picture a little bit. Uncle Sam is like the uncle that starts he starts a fucking renovations business. And he's like, "Hey, you should be my first client." And you're like, "All right, your family. I'll have you renovate my house. Go through all this shit, fix my driveway, fix my gutters, fix my fucking living room, my windows, all this bullshit. Fix the toilets, fix the plumbing. Like, you can do all this shit. I'll pay you for it." And so you give him all this money. You give him a ton of money straight up and be like, "Look, here's a big amount of money. Actually, more than the job costs. I'm just your family, so I'm going to hook you up. Here's all this money. Please fix my shit." And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely. I got you." And then you live at a hotel for a week, and then you come back to the house, and everything's worse. Rather than, the gutters just being dirty, now they're broken. Rather than the driveway just being a little bit cracked, now it's completely dug up, and he has no plans to put any new gravel down. You're like, "Sam, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? This is way worse than I left it." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. I just, let me explain. The neighbors across the street, they're being a little fucked up. They're shady. There's something about them, There's something about those neighbors." And you're like, "The Johnsons? Dude, the Johnsons aren't doing nothing to me. They got nothing to do with me, Yeah, they have their fights over there, but they're not coming over here and starting fights, they'll go out on their front porch and yell at each other, but they're not starting anything over here." And your uncle's like, "Look, I'm going to be honest with you. All that money you gave me, I can't get it back to you. I spent it all on guns." And you're like, "Guns? What the fuck did you spend it on guns for?" And he's like, "Well, I wanted to be able to defend myself and you from the Johnsons. But then I figured I can't just be pointing guns at them all day. They have to have guns too. So I bought them some guns so that they could have some guns." And you go over and talk to the Johnsons, and you're like, "Dude, like, what's the deal with my uncle?" And he's like, "I don't know. He just gave us some guns, and we're going to keep them because, like, I don't know, why not?" This analogy is falling flat a little bit, but I guess it kind of sort of makes sense. Can you guys tell I haven't been laid in a long time? In a while? You hear it in my voice? How on fucking edge I am right now? God damn it. I'm a young man. I'm 20. I should be getting laid. I have the ability. I've read the playbook. I've watched the film. I'm ready to hit the field. And then all of a sudden, we got hit with this fucking countrywide delay of game. What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't want to contract this disease because I don't want to spread it. I don't think if I got it, I would be in that much danger because I'm young and I'm healthy. But I don't want to give it to the people directly in my life, like my coworkers, my parents, whatever. So that's why I don't want to get it. But at the same time, if I'm honest, even though I'm social distancing, even though I want to keep this social distancing thing going, if anybody, any female, that I find remotely attractive approach me, a stranger, approach me and ask me to have intercourse in their car, I would say yes. I wouldn't even ask about it. I wouldn't even say like, oh man, like, have you been experiencing symptoms? Oh man, let me take your temperature. No, I'd just be in. I'd be in, cause I think I'm a good person, but my dick is super selfish. My dick is super selfish. Like, when it sees the opportunity, it just goes in. It just goes in. There's no stopping him. There's no stopping this man. He's unstoppable. He's a force to be reckoned with. Oh man. Yeah. I feel bad for these young men and young women who are out in this world, coming out of high school. Really haven't had much sexual experience. Really haven't had much career experience, job experience. Only school experience they've had is high school. They're trying to get out in the real world, and all of a sudden just gets halted by this virus. I feel bad for them. Especially just sexually speaking. Like, when you get out of high school, that first summer out of high school, you're supposed to fuck people, like, as many as possible. That's what it's for. That's for the summer after senior year. It's to suck dick and get your dick sucked. That's all you're supposed to do. People getting summer jobs, that's a front. That is a front. So you can meet more lifeguards. You can meet all the lifeguards that are working at the pool with you, and then you can you can eat her pussy behind the behind the stand, whatever it is, the lifeguard stand. Oh, that's gross. That's gross. Gross. No, I'm just super pent up, if you can't tell. Obviously, you can't tell because I'm talking about it a lot. But that's where I'm at right now. That's just where I'm at. Just feeling bad for the youth. The sexually inexperienced youth. That's, they're getting a late start in this shit, man. I think I should do motivational speeches, because I used to be like really ugly and just geeky, and I came from a Christian school out of 8th grade, so I just didn't really adjust very quickly. And I had my fair share of sexual experiences in high school, but they were all bizarre. They weren't normal. They were all like, I don't even want to get too deep into it, but they were all just a little bit bizarre. And I always felt like going into college, like, damn, like, I'm just not the guy. I'm not the fucking dude that, fucks a bunch of women. And then that's in college, I just like did way better for myself in that regard. Not that I even looked that much better in college. I did my second year. I started to like work out, and I started to figure my shit out a little bit, and take care of myself, shave regularly, all this stuff. And it took a while, though, if I'm honest. It took a while, but I did better for myself because I felt free. And when you feel free, you feel confident, and confidence is 100% of it. That's the TED talk I want to give to like young men who are in my previous position. Not that I'm like some Don Juan or anything. I'm not claiming to be. But I just want to put the information out there that it's all in your head. No matter who you are, it's all in your fucking head. Big dick energy, that was a life-changing term when I heard that. Big dick energy. It means something. It really means something. It has a real, honest-to-God truth behind it. It means walking around like the head of your fucking dick is scraping against the floor. You gotta wear a pair of suspenders because your balls are just so goddamn heavy. They're just that big, monstrous nuts. That's what you gotta walk around like. You gotta walk around with that swagger, with that charisma, like your dick's heavy, bro. That's what it is. It's all about walking around with that heavy dick energy. I like the term heavy more than big. I just think it sounds silly. Like, oh man, I got a heavy dick, bro. I don't know. That just makes me laugh for some reason. If you're watching the video version, the way I'm sitting right now is so uncomfortable looking. I'm actually very comfortable, but it looks uncomfortable, I imagine. Just with my legs crossed. I love crossing my legs. You know, it's supposed to be not masculine to cross your legs when you sit, but like it's so comfortable. It's so comfortable. Like, I can't imagine that it hurts any guys. Unless you got like really big nuts. Like, I just can't imagine crossing your legs when you sit down is like that, you know, stressful to your package. I think you're designed, you know, the intelligent design by God. I mean, he put a lot of work into making sure your dick was adaptable. Was adaptable like a transformer. It could just, you know, do its thing. No, I walked around too long like I had like I was walking around with light dick. It doesn't matter if you have it. It really doesn't matter, honestly, about the size of your genitals. It doesn't matter. It's super irrelevant. Same thing for women. It's like a confidence thing. It's just 100% a confidence thing. And I know that's not new information. I'm not really putting anything crazy out into the world right now, but that is 100% how I see it. And that's see, the thing is, I got that information. The reason I'm reiterating this to the listener, whoever you are, is not because I think that you don't know this. It's not because I think that you don't know that confidence is sexy, but I got that information when I was young and nervous and didn't know like really who I was in that regard. And I heard it all over and over and over again. You know, my dad would tell me that, like, dude, you got to be confident. That's how you get girls. You got to be confident. You got to just like walk in there like you own the place. And I heard that so many times, and it becomes one of those pieces of like filler advice. Like, everybody says that. You know, everybody fucking says that. Like, it's not that simple. Yes, it is that simple. It totally is that simple. Everybody overthinks it, including myself. I overthought it for so long. It's like, that is just too simple to make any sense. Like, confidence, you gotta walk around with confidence. But honestly, it works. It works. Like, just act like you ever... All right, this is where we're getting really, really fucking gross, you know, gross just male energy coming from me. I haven't gotten gross on the podcast in a while, so I figured I'd you know, take this one to get a little bit down and dirty. But this is my gross male energy coming out, but... You ever fuck somebody, and then the dynamic around, like, fuck somebody fine, and then the dynamic around them is different completely? Like, because before that, you were just, like, almost intimidated by their fineness. You're like, they are so good looking that, like, oh my God, I don't even know what to say to her. And you overthink everything you say. You want to laugh at their jokes. Like, you laugh too much, and then you want to come off as funny to them, so that they think you're interesting. And you try so hard to make conversation and to make yourself sound cool and interesting and fun. And then you have sex with them, and then it's gone. All of that, that front that you were putting on just is over, because you did it. You know, you stormed the castle, you raided the village, and it's over. The story's over. So, why do I got to play this character anymore? In my experience, when that happens and you're back to normal, you're back to yourself around this person, because the front is totally done. They find you that much more attractive, you know? There is something to that. There is something to that in the male-female dynamic, that guys, you talk to guys, right? You just talk to dudes. When I talk to my male friends, they all say like, man, we just fucked, and now she's like, trying to like make me or like be their boyfriend and shit. And you talk to girls, and obviously this goes both ways. Like, there are plenty of guys out there that are like, they fucked a girl once and now it's like, oh, I want to make her my girlfriend, and she has no interest in that. But and so maybe it's not even just a guy girl thing. But then you talk to certain females and they're like, man, like, we just had something. Like, he was just so great, and like, I think I'm like really into him, and I really like want to be with him. And for some reason, here's why I consider it a male-female thing, and I put it under this dynamic, you can call it, is because I think guys get a lot less interested in girls after they've had sex with them, because, like, a lot. Like, it just halves. It'd be, the half-life is one fuck. That's what it is. The half-life of your interest in them is one fuck. And it's in my theory, here's my theory. It's because of the different ways that we come. I told you I'm getting gross. I'm getting dirty on this one. I'm getting fucking dirty. I don't know why. But guys come pretty easily. And guys basically come every time during intercourse. Like, every time a guy has sex, he ejaculates. That just happens. Women, on the other hand, do not have an orgasm every time they have sex. Pretty established, right? So, guys, they experience that boredom with a single partner faster because, like, yeah, this girl can make me come, of course. And now I've done it already. I've played this arcade game already. I'm on to the next one. I've played Galaga already. I'm on to fucking Pac-Man. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Where is this misogynistic, joking coming from? I don't even know, but I'm putting this on the internet because I guess I don't give a fuck. But women, when a guy fucks you a couple times, he starts to figure you out and figure out how to make you come. It's not like on the first time he just nails it every time. I mean, sometimes but that's like a 1 in 1,000, right? 1 in 1,000 that a girl will have sex with somebody, and then like he's just like got it. He just nails it on the first try. Like Luke Skywalker going down that alley on the Death Star, just first try, fucking puts it in there. He's got it. Bingo. It's 1 in 1,000. So when a guy has sex with her multiple times, and he starts to figure her out, that's why women start to get attached over that time, and guys' interest goes down. Women's interest goes up, and guys' interest goes down at like the same rate. It's not again, none of this is across the. I hate that I keep having to backpedal because I feel like what I'm saying is fucked up, but because it is fucked up what I'm saying. If that's the instinct you have, Carson, maybe what you're saying is fucking stupid. No, it's that's weirdly my instinct is that what I'm saying is kind of stupid and ridiculous, but that's why that conversation happens where guys are become disinterested and women become more interested, and then guys will blow a girl off, and then like later on, like 6 months later, we'll like hit her up again and be like, oh my god, like I need to fuck her again, like I forgot how great that was. Like, guys we just don't know what we got when we got it. We're not forward thinking creatures. We're not. We just we think in the moment, like that was fucking great, but I just did it, so let's try something else. Rather than considering the other person's emotions, I guess. That's probably the right thing to do. This is all fucked up, man. This is all fucked up. This is coming off as super misogynistic and ignorant, but I'm just fucking around. I'm obviously just fucking around. I'm just making jokes for the sake of making jokes. I like joking about that stuff, about the differences between men and women, because we are inherently different. Physically, in our brain chemistry is different. So there are differences to be discussed, and I can't really speak to people that are trans or to people that are that don't consider themselves male or female. Like, I can't speak to any of that shit. I don't know how that works in the dynamic because I haven't experienced that. So that's confusing to me, if I'm honest. That is confusing to me. Not people that are trans. That actually makes a lot of sense. But people that don't consider themselves male or female. Like, that fucking blows my mind. Like, people that are completely like, I don't even conform to that construct. I'm like, you are just like thinking, we're all in 2020 and they are in like 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're way ahead of their time. Everybody's treating them like they're crazy, but it's because they're like the Nikola Teslas of this generation. They've just invented a new thing that we can't even fucking comprehend, so we all think they're witches, right? That's where the hate comes from. It's like, oh, burn the witch. Fucking burn that witch. Like, they're talking crazy. No, they're talking futuristic, bruh. They're talking some futuristic language that you just can't think about in your small head. And mine. I got a small brain. I'm willing to admit that I'm not super informed on those issues. I just try to be accepting. Like, in my real life, I genuinely just try to be accepting and try to, whatever somebody says, like, if it's about them, it's like, this is what I feel about myself. Like, fucking, yeah, do your thing. Do your thing. I have no right or reason to get in your way, because I don't know if you're right or if you're wrong. Like, I'm just going to go off assuming you're 100% correct because I don't know. And also, it doesn't have anything to do with me, so, like, why would you even tell me this lie? If it's a lie, why would you even lie to me about it? It doesn't affect me in any way either way, so fucking what's the point of a lie? I don't know. That should be my catchphrase. I don't know. That is sort of my catchphrase on this podcast. I don't fucking know, man. But that's it for me right now. That's the end of my shit right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it on the video format. I don't know what it really adds, except for my body movements. I think it adds some context to. I don't even know what it adds context to. I'm gonna say it again. I don't fucking know. Hope you guys have a good week, and eat your vegetables. Give your mom a hug. Don't play in traffic. Don't play on train tracks. Wear a mask when you're out in public. And only drink RC Cola, because fuck Coke and fuck Pepsi. All right, I'm out.